Okay, so when you think of the K-pop powerhouse K1 and A, you probably think of JOYEONS. I mean, she's a huge part of their image. She's got that look, the sound, that perfect K-pop polish. But what if I told you there's a completely different story behind that perfectly crafted image? A story that isn't told in interviews, but in the quiet spaces between the beats. So yeah, let's dive into this.
Right, this is the JOYEONS most of us recognize. The visual, the rapper, the idol. It's an identity that's been carefully built, you know? A mix of high-polished Korean elegance with this very deliberate street defiance. But this image, as sharp as it is, it's really only the surface.
And you know what? She told us herself. This one line from her track, Ain't on Camera, is basically the key that unlocks this whole thing. It's a direct challenge to her public persona. It's her telling us that the real work, the real story, well, that's happening where nobody is looking.
So let's do that. Let's go where the cameras aren't. We're going to peel back the layers by looking at the evidence she left for us, right there on the record. It's the story of an architect, working in the shadows.
This right here lays the conflict bare. On one side, you have the myth, the polished idol, the performer, and on the other, you have the brutal truth, straight from her own lyrics, crying in the beat, pain laid flat. You see, this isn't just poetry. She's literally describing her job.
In this quote, this is the blueprint. Just listen to the words she's using. Design, built. She's not just performing emotion, she's structuring it. She's an engineer of feeling, taking something raw like pain and giving it a precise musical form.
And it turns out that's her actual title. For real, within the 11/6 music system, her official role is melodic engineering. She's the one responsible for the lyrical top lines, the melodic progression, the very bones of the songs you're hearing. This isn't some side hustle, this is her primary job.
So, how does she actually do it? This is where it gets really fascinating. Her whole creative philosophy isn't about adding more stuff, it's about taking things away. It's a philosophy of restraint.
It all starts right here. For JOYEONS, the empty space in a track isn't a void that needs to be filled. No, it's an instrument in itself. It's part of the arrangement. Silence is where a song has to prove how strong it really is.
This is her whole process in a nutshell. She approaches a record like a sculptor with a huge block of marble. Her first instinct is to remove things, to mute tracks, to simplify. She wants to see if the core emotion can survive with less. And if it can, then all that extra stuff was just noise to begin with.
I mean, this just reveals a level of maturity and restraint that is so rare. It's an approach that's completely free of ego. Her job isn't to make sure you hear her on the track, it's to serve the record, even if that means doing nothing at all.
So ultimately, it's all about respecting the song itself. She isn't trying to stamp her own identity on every single track. She's trying to create space for the song's own identity to come through. And that is a profound difference in mindset.
But why? Why this quiet, disciplined authority? Where does that even come from? Well, her history isn't one of industry polish and careful development. It's more like a trial by fire.
And this, right here, is the key to understanding her. The industry didn't find some diamond in the rough that they needed to polish. No. By the time she officially arrived on the scene, she was already a finished tool, sharpened by a much, much harsher environment.
I mean, just look at this history. She was raised between the discipline of Seoul and the total risk of Las Vegas. At just 16 years old, she was in a pressure cooker operation, not a label. Think of it more like a factory. And what was she doing? Producing without credit and literally repairing broken songs. She wasn't being marketed, she was being relied on because she could deliver, period. She learned her craft in total anonymity where the only thing that mattered was the work.
Which brings us to today. All that quiet work has now become the structural backbone for some of the most important records in the entire 11/6 ecosystem. And if you need proof, here it is, right in the credits. And these aren't some minor contributions, okay? We are talking album-level producer credits on flagship DLB projects. You know, albums like Lost Youth and Mercy is for the Weak. She's not just a feature, she is a foundational architect of the label's entire sound.
So this is the crucial point, this distinction right here. She actually rejects the term idol because to her, it just implies being a decoration. Her function, her real identity, is that of a builder. She's not here to be admired. She's here to build and control the final outcome. And so her producer tag, it isn't just branding. It's a signature of intent. It's quiet, it sits right inside the sound, and it signals that the record has already been shaped by a disciplined architectural hand. It's a mark of quality control.
All of this really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? The story of JOYEONS is a powerful reminder that contribution isn't always measured by volume or visibility. In an industry that almost always rewards the loudest voice, what happens to the quiet architects? What vital structures do we fail to even see?